All right, guys, we got video reaction 13, and I'm excited for this one because I actually have some other things to talk about if I don't have anything to say about this video, because I was watching some of the video reactions back, and a lot of the times I'm just watching what's happening, and I don't have a reaction because I feel like just watching is enough sometimes. We don't have to have something to say all the time. Um, but yeah, let's see what's going on in this lesson. This looks like we had some note cards practicing our mentality. We've got some bare hand knee picks. Looks like drop steps. Got a lot of kids going on. Have throwing and defense going on at the same time.
Oh, that's a good question. There's this play I made. It was in the 5-6 hole. Actually, our third baseman made it.
Carlos asked, "What's the most memorable play?"
Picked the ball up and just chucked the ball across the field, got the girl out. I just felt really cool doing it, but I also felt like my throw was like the hardest throw I ever had, and it was so.
It's so funny. Softball is a team sport, but there's so many individual. But let me rephrase this: it's a team sport, but our experience is very much individual. Meaning, we could have a favorite play. We could have a favorite year that we ever played, and it might not be the same as anyone else's. But if your team's losing, that's going to affect your experience. If your team has great culture, that's going to affect your experience. So, first thing that I have written down, because I've been posting a lot more about the real work, mental and emotional side of sport on my Instagram. And one of the videos that has gotten like a ton of shares is this one that on the front of it says, "Be a good teammate." And I had a question that was emailed that said, "Hey, how do you forget a bad play but still learn from the mistakes?" And I had to think about that because I understand the question, because when we want to try to forget about something, the purpose of that is to not think about it so we can put our energy towards the next play. Okay? That's assuming that because we're thinking about it, it's going to give us negative energy. But what if we could flip that, and instead of making it about forgetting, like, how do I forget? Make the goal about how do I refocus, right? Because you're not going to forget. It's just what happens. And then part two of that is like, how do you forget about the bad play and then learn from it at the same time? You're not going to forget, but the thing that we want to really focus on is going to be the next play, being a good teammate, getting our eye contact on the people that we want to talk to, communicating the next play, all the things like that. I'm turning down my voice on this other video. But I hope I'm communicating this in the way it's happening in my brain, where if we're focusing on forgetting, we're still giving our mental energy to the air. When we really want to give our mental energy to the next play, the next thing that's important, and that is mostly giving good energy to our teammates and getting prepared for the next pitch. And on defense, especially, that happens really, really fast. Luke Colon was saying that it happens within 18 seconds, or every 18 seconds, there's going to be another pitch. So that would be my answer, is it's not about forgetting. It's about what's important now. And then if you're really concerned about needing to learn from your mistakes and you're concerned about forgetting, wanting to learn, you can keep a journal in the dugout. I know a lot of college players that do this, mostly with their at-bats. They keep a journal of like what pitch it was, or what pitcher they faced, what pitch got them out or what pitch they attacked, what their plan was. On defense, maybe they write down, okay, it felt like my first step was bad or something like that, so that they have those notes for later games. And that's a really cool thing to do. But I can guarantee you're not going to forget kind of what you did wrong. Maybe you'll forget your thoughts in the moment, and that'll be something cool to look back on. But most players know what they did wrong right after they do it. So just something else to think about. These are pants that I got from Target. I love these pants. They should have stayed just home sweats. I don't think they are necessarily made for lessons and clinic space. Very sweat panty. Another question that I've gotten is, and these questions are coming from, I actually did like a little campaign for the Real Work. We did a tiny sale on the actual book and then the additional notebooks that come with it. So there was like a little deal on it. And when you purchased that, you were able to submit a question for Q&A that I just did, where nobody was on live because it's 5 p.m. on a Thursday night. That's when I had time. And a lot of people are at lessons or doing their practices. So hopefully they'll get the recording of that. But the second question that was submitted was, what's the best tip that you have for showcases or clinics where you're trying to get noticed by college coaches? And the first thing that came into my mind was eye contact, hustle, and make adjustments. Like those 3 things are actually my rules for lessons and clinics. Like I've got 3 rules. I say this all the time. If you've been to any one of my lessons or clinics, you've heard me say this a ton. But think about that in terms of a showcase or a clinic that a college is hosting, right? In terms of if you're at a game, eye contact. Are you giving your coaches, teammates eye contact? That shows respect. That shows you're present. That shows you're listening. That shows that you want to be there. Hustle. On and off the field. Do you respect the game? Do you respect the time of the people around you and make adjustments? At bat to at bat, are you doing the same thing? Or are you getting better as the game goes on? If you look at it from a clinic standpoint, thinking, all right, at a clinic, coaches, I'm not even going to explain it because it's the same as lessons and clinics that I talk about all the time. If I was recruiting and I was a college coach, I would look for those 3 things. In addition, because I'm not a college coach and thinking about my experience as a player and my experience really shortly as a college coach who was opening these recruiting emails and putting together a schedule to go see all these kids, my advice would be for showcase tournaments, email the coach or the school beforehand and say, hey, here's my schedule. I'm on this team. I'm number 18. I should be playing shortstop. I'm really excited for you to come and watch because the University of Washington has the business school that I'm really excited to learn about. Something about the school. Give them your number, give them your schedule. I mean, it's a small thing. A lot of these coaches are putting together their own schedule. They already have a list of players. But if you're not on their list, it's really easy to plug you into a schedule when you give it to them. Second thing, after a clinic that the college puts together, or if you're at a big clinic with a ton of different schools at it. Go up and either introduce yourself, say your name, and say thank you. That's huge because it's way easier to not do that. And I think a lot of college coaches, one, they're getting paid to be working a clinic where they are interacting with you. But two, if you make an impression on them playing and then go up and like say thank you afterwards, it's another touch point where they can remember you. This was a lesson where I made up this agility square, and I remember getting a lot of like, it's not hate, but like people on social media saying, why are they turning that way? Why are you making them do this drill? They'd never do that in a game. One, yeah, they're never going to do this square agility drill in a game. But the point is body awareness. And also we do reverse pivots sometimes, but that wasn't really why I put this into lessons. I put this here because agility matters, listening to directions matters, controlling our body so that our weight stays over our hips matters. So all of those things combined, thought it was a good drill. And I like to make up new things that challenge the girls. So it's not just them. Like, I think one of the biggest reasons I make up new drills is so that they can't go through the motions of it. They have to pay attention. And that is probably the biggest difference that I would say is between coaching little kids, like youth kids, and maybe college kids. College kids know the importance of each movement. College kids, professionals know that they can do the same thing every single day. And it's not about boredom. It's about, I need to do this body of work. Little kids, we're still trying to make it fun. We're still honing their ability to focus, pay attention. And some would say, okay, well, this takes away that ability. Like, it's just the difference between, I don't have a good metaphor for this, but I guess instead of compounding the reality of it, of kids get bored going through it, kids will have negative reps if they are going through the motions, we shift it to, okay, with something new, you have to focus in a way, and we have to implement all the fundamentals that you know from those drills that we always do. So we don't make up drills for the sake of having random drills that we always do, but I will say I do make up new things so that I can attack a level of focus that kids don't get if they're like already in the mindset of, oh, I know how to do this. I know this. So they stop focusing. It's a similar effect that you'll get when kids are playing catch. Lost my train of thought. Completed. All right, so a lot of these kids have done circle footwork a lot of times. This lesson is a little bit newer, I know, for this drill. Other way. Yep. There we go. It's a good adjustment, but we're kind of off balance. So we try to give them one thing to work on. And I almost never do circle footwork because personally, it's a really easy one for like an assistant coach to run for you, because you're watching them go around a circle. You are rolling a ball. But sometimes I will jump in there and test this and see if they are making the proper adjustments, or if they've been being coached a little bit too lax. Meaning, if my assistant coaches are just getting them to move, that's probably 75% of the battle. And it's really them getting their feet moving with like short, choppy steps, feet under their hips. It is, when I say 75%, that's kind of the purpose of getting them going, getting them moving, getting them attacking, getting them comfortable doing something that they've always done. Then the other 25% are those small fixes, just like you saw before. Is their glove coming up and then down? Are they unbalanced when they're getting the elbows up at the end? And you're going to see that they become more polished the more that they do it, just by the trend of being more familiar with something. I'm actually going to write down a note. This is how I come up with some of my social media content of like what the ideas are. Is kind of ideating on why we do what we do. And one of those ideas is, why do we make up drills all the time? Oopsies. Oopsie. Still writing this note. All right. Just needed to capture that. Kind of important. I probably put maybe too much importance on Instagram posts and communicating things right away. Instagram has been a monster for me. Only time will tell if it's actually worth it for my business. I think it's definitely worth it for people to follow us, because I literally post almost every thought that comes, or not every thought, but every meaningful thought that comes to my mind about training or youth development, in my experience. Just like these YouTube videos, it's like some of these videos that we've gone through, when I watch them back, I'm like, oh my God, that's boring, or I'm not really talking about anything, or I'm just staring at the screen and not making a comment. But I feel like if one person catches one thing in one of these videos, it'll be cool. Everybody wants to like go viral and have popular videos, or I know that I could make these videos better somehow, but at this point in my life, it's really tough not to just churn out this quality and not think it might not help people. But we're going to see. If we can make it better, we will. Yeah, Amanda Fama and Sophia are probably the MVPs of assistant coaches for defense lessons. And by MVPs, I mean Amanda is at lessons more than me. I probably say this in every single video that I record. Sometimes I'll show up now. It's been over 2 years that this has gone on in this way. It's been this schedule of Amanda being in there 4 times a week. I'm in there 2 times a week. I switch off my days so I can see everybody. I think it's going to start changing again. It's possible that I take another step back. But it's been kind of an experiment to see how do the girls respond to the individual coaches. Can we maintain the same standard? Can I teach all my coaches everything I know in the way that I teach while still giving them an individual voice, because all of them have experience, even if they don't know anything that I teach, which they will by being at defense lessons. But even if they don't communicate what I teach, they also have all of their experience. And by their experience, I mean, when you graduate from college after playing softball, you've got all the experience that you had when you were little, which maybe we don't own that experience. Maybe we didn't curate that. Maybe we don't remember all of it. Fine. But you have all of the experience in high school. You have all your experience in college. So we've definitely got degrees in softball and the ability to pass that on. That's what I love about hiring college athletes, hiring former college athletes, former pro athletes. All of us have bachelor's, master's, doctorates in softball. Kind of crazy. And there are different types of coaches. There's a type of coach that will teach, hey, this is how I did it. There's a type of coach that wants more information. They want to continue learning. They want to make sure that what they're teaching is the most current scientific based. Those are my favorite coaches. I try to do that. And then there's the type of coaches that are maybe a combination of each and make you feel awesome just being in their presence. I think that's what we have a lot of at defense lessons. We like helping the kids feel more themselves. We like helping them feel less nervous to be in a place where we're going to make them fail. It can be really uncomfortable. It's funny, the more years that I'm in there, my individual experience is, man, I would think that we're better by now because like we've been teaching the same thing over and over. We're teaching different ways to do it. But like the new girls that are just coming have just heard it for the first time. Or there's girls that have been there that we do see have gotten better. And it's just kind of crazy that the feeling that we should be at a certain place is false in some ways. I think we're doing a really good job of updating what we teach to fit the current standard. Thankful to my coaches, thankful to everybody that continues to hang out with us at defense lessons. Hopefully, this was a better lesson reaction.